What's up, collectors? Transformers Studio Series. Today, we're finally taking a look at Transformers Studio Series number 70, B127. Taking a really quick look at the packaging, we get an Transformers logo on the side, Series and Bumblebee at the bottom, as well as B127 or Cybertronian Bumblebee, whatever you want to call him. We got a nice image of him, as well as a nice display of the figure itself. On the side of the packaging, we get that same image from a closer look with the Series and 70 on the top. On the back of the packaging, we get the catcher roll mode and vehicle mode, as well as the 20 steps in the Transformer, as well as the background. And on the other side of the packaging, we got, that same image from further away, so you can appreciate more of the image itself. And on the top, not much is Transformers Bumblebee, but that's pretty much it for the whole thing. So without further ado, let's get into it. And here we have Transformers Studio Series number 70. V127 in hand and out of the packaging, and I'm gonna be honest with you guys, some people like this guy, some people don't. I'm kind of 50-50. I am liking the idea and the concept of a Cybertronian Bumblebee, but I don't believe this mold gets the job done. I have a lot of cons with it, and just I don't like it. I don't like it at all, so let's get into it. Starting out with the weapon that he brings, as you can see, he brings the same blaster that the previous Bumblebee and Clip Jumper had. Nothing special here. It's the same sculpted in detail. The only difference is on the paint job. And let's go ahead and compare each individual one so you can see the differences. You can see the first one is the B127, the second one is the Clip Jumper, and the third and final is the Jeep version of Bumblebee. And as you can see, they're pretty much the same thing. Same sculpted in detail, just to copy and paste of each individual one. But as you can see, the only difference is on the paint job. And this one sucks. Nobody likes that, so let's throw that away. As you can see, the Clip Jumper is black and silver, so really nice indeed, and it looks really good with him, so let's throw that away. And the final is the B127, as you can see, is dark gray with some silver, and it actually looks really good. Honestly, this is my favorite of the three, but that's pretty much it for the weapon. And now for the figure itself, before we start, I'm not going to be transforming this guy. I already basically did a review on him. It's exactly the same as Clip Jumper, and on that video I covered the transformation, on detail, so link in the description down below, as well as in the top right corner of this video. But on this video, I'm just going to compare this guy to Clip Jumper and the rest of the Bumblebee cast. But as you can see from the front, it looks really good, really accurate to the movie representation. And it's when you turn it on the side that it looks so beefy and so awkward. Honestly, this looks like a cape or a backpack. It looks like he's about to go to school. I never liked the panels on the legs. They flip all over the place. They still cannot peg, cannot be stiff on the pegs themselves. When you trying to articulate it or pose him or just play with it, it just comes apart and on pegs itself. It's not good at all. So just from the front, it looks good. If you're gonna display it, this is pretty much everything you want to do with it. Just put it like that, and that's pretty much it, because it just looks ugly, man. It still has the same problem of the neck, but Bumblebee, it covers a lot more better than a Clip Jumper. And speaking of Clip Jumper, let's go ahead and jump right into it. As you can see, Clip Jumper looks kind of awkward, kind of like the neck is just it does not look good at all. But for Bumblebee, that problem is solved. That's always a plus. But for the paint job, it's kind of decent. As you can see, I kind of have a paint drip on the face skull, and that's just, it sucks. Honestly, I hate paint drips, especially on the face skull, because it's kind of ruined it for me. As you can see, there's a black thingamajig there, and I don't know if it's on my particular copy, but hopefully it is. Hopefully it's not on yours. But I honestly don't recommend this guy. If you have Clip Jumper already, there's no reason why you should buy Bumblebee, especially because Jeep Bumblebee exists, and I believe this is the best Bumblebee we have had from the movie Transformers Bumblebee. And that's honestly a bummer, because we had the Volkswagen one, and now the Jeep one, and now the Cybertronian Bumblebee, and this is the only one that I like, honestly, because the Volkswagen is just trash all over the place. This is kind of decent, but the best one is this one. As you can see, no backpack whatsoever on the Jeep Bumblebee, and just sculpted in detail on this one. It's just fantastic. Don't get me wrong, for the Cybertronian Bumblebee, it looks amazing, but it's just, I'm not a fan of them all, honestly. For this one, I kind of like it because it was his own thing, but now that I have two of the same thing, basically it's exactly the same thing. They only swapped the heads, and that's pretty much it. So again, this one is the Bumblebee to go. As you can see, really accurate, and it looks fantastic. But this one, it's just not it. Another thing that I wanted to mention, and I think it is really cool, and honestly, this is the only reason I can see people buying the Cybertronian Bumblebee, is that you can go ahead and pop the the face sculpt, because it's on a bulging, so you can go ahead and, you know, pop it off and kind of, you know, peg it on the Jeep Bumblebee. So go ahead and throw that face to the floor, and let's go ahead and upgrade it to the kind of, you know, aggressive face mask that he you know, had on that scene. This is more accurate, you know, to that scene, because he indeed uses, you know, the face mask. And let's go ahead and peg the Jeep Bumblebee head on the Cybertronian or B127, whatever you want to call him. And as you can see, this is kind of more accurate, because as you can see, this is the way it was supposed to be on the Cybertronian scene, and this is the way it's supposed to be on the Jeep scene. I don't know if they intended to do this, but this is honestly amazing, and this is the only reason I can see people, you know, buying, you know, the Cybertronian Bumblebee, just to swap head. And as you can see, it looks amazing. It kind of completes my figure, and I'm kind of happy that I pick out, you know, the B127 just to swap heads with the G1. And as you can see, it looks amazing. So now you got, you know, two options. You can go ahead and swipe you know, to the number one and the face mask on the Jeep version. But honestly, it looks fantastic, and as you can see, really accurate to the movie representation. Moving on to the comparison, so you guys can see how he looks with the rest of the Autobots and Decepticons for the movie Transformers Bumblebee. Let's go ahead and bring Optimus Prime. As you can see, it looks amazing, really accurate to the movie representation. They look exactly the same as that scene, you know, when Bumblebee tells Optimus, "Sorry I'm late, had a little traffic." It looks exactly the same, really accurate to the movie representation, so that's always a plus. They look fantastic together. But let's go ahead and move on to the Decepticons, because we technically don't have any Autobots other than you know, Clipjumper and the other Bumblebee. But this is, you know, Bumblebee. I'm not gonna compare Bumblebee with Bumblebee, but for Clipjumper, this is how they look. You kind of saw them on the beginning of the video. But let's go ahead and move to Blitzwing. As you can see, they look amazing. They didn't saw each other on the Cybertronian scene, so this kind of looks kind of off. So this is a little bit more accurate, you know, the Jeep Bumblebee. But you know, for the Cybertronian Bumblebee, it does not look that bad at all. They look decent together, and as you can see, really accurate to the movie representation. Let's go ahead and move on with the last two Decepticons. Let's go ahead and bring Shadow first, so you guys can see how they look together. And as you can see, for the scale, it kind of looks decent. She's supposed to be a little bit more bigger, but as you can see, it looks really good, really accurate to the movie representation on you know, sculpted in detail. But let's go ahead and bring Dropkick, and this is the last comparison. And as you can see, they look fantastic. Again, really accurate to the movie representation, and just Dropkick looks amazing next to Bumblebee. But with that being said, this is pretty much it for the comparison. And now for the vehicle mode, it's a completely different story, because we did saw indeed Bumblebee using this vehicle on the movie, you know, on the Cybertronian scene when he had a little traffic. But as you can see, it looks amazing, and in my opinion, it looks way better than Clipjumper, because it's really accurate to the movie representation. And on Clipjumper's case, we didn't saw Clipjumper on the vehicle mode. At least I really don't remember. If you got that knowledge, leave that on the comments down below. But as you can see, they look fantastic together. They're pretty much the same thing, just swap, you know, colors, you know, from red to yellow, and that's pretty much it. I believe this is the original, and they intended to release Bumblebee first, but you know, Jeep Bumblebee was coming out, and I believe they didn't want, you know, no Bumblebee fatigue, so they decided to release Clipjumper instead, because this looked like, you know, this looks like the real deal, the, you know, the original one, and this like the repaint, because you know, the neck looks way better, the face skull looks way better, and this one just looks like they added, you know, the face skull after the engineering, because that's why it looks awful on this one, and on this one looks great. But I don't know, it's just me speculating. I really don't know for sure, but as you can see, they look fantastic together. Moving on to compare them with the Jeep versions, you can see they look fantastic together. I still believe that this is the better Bumblebee, but on vehicle mode, I really like this much better, because it just looks way faster, way exotic, and it just I love the look of it. But as you can see, this is how they look together. Let's go ahead and move to Dropkick, so you guys can see how they look together. And as you can see, they look fantastic. It's kind of awkward, because this is a Cybertronian vehicle, and this is our vehicle, just like Jeep Bumblebee. But as you can see, for the scale, they look pretty much the same as scale is concerned. But as you can see, both of them look really good, really accurate to the particular movie representations. But let's go ahead and move on to Shatter, and as you can tell, they look fantastic, just like the rest of the you know, Autobots and Decepticons that I have compared. They look really accurate to the movie representation. It just this is my favorite Shatter, everyone's favorite Shatter, because it's just vehicle one. It's just awful on robot mode, but as you can see, they look fantastic. I believe this should be a little bit more bigger, but I really don't know the scale of the Cybertronian vehicles in comparison with the Earth vehicles. But this is me just speculating, but this is how they look together. So let's go ahead and finish with the comparison. Just for the figure itself, there's not much to tell. This is you know, a retool slash repaint, and we have seen this already, so there's not much that I can talk about on vehicle mode. But this is pretty much much it for the vehicle mode. Before we finish the video, I wanted to, you know, bring out that he brings pretty much the same background as all the Cybertronian characters, but on this case, I kind of, you know, noticed that it's kind of different slightly. It has a different angle. For example, on the right, we got the clip jumper one, and on the left, we got the Bumblebee one. And as you can see, the boxes are a little bit more further away on the Bumblebee one, and on the clip jumper, it's a little bit more closer. I don't know if you can tell that, but or I'm crazy, but I can see that this is a little bit more closer than this one, and it may be because clip jumper was in this area fighting the Decepticons, and Bumblebee was on the bridge, you know, having a little traffic. I don't know, man. It's just a fun detail, and I wanted to point that out. But this is pretty much it for the background as well as the vehicle mode. So guys, do you think it's worth it, the head swapping for $20 to $25 extra? Leave your thoughts on the comments down below. But this is pretty much it for the video, guys. I hope you enjoy. If you did, please leave a like. It really helps you, the algorithm, and helps my videos get out there in a while. So if you get any value in my content, please subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. But this is pretty much it for Transformers Studio Series number 70, B127.